Hi Year 10, it's Mrs. Brooks and we are on our final lesson for speech writing, and this is going to help you to write your conclusion. So in this short 5-minute lesson, you are going to look back at your own introduction, because we want you to link, read a waggle, plan out some ideas for your conclusion and use some sentence stems. So what is a conclusion? It's the summary of your main points at the end of the speech. It needs to link clearly back to your introduction. So if you ask any rhetorical questions, then maybe you could answer them now. And you're going to use powerful language and ask your audience to act. So what I want you to do is go and find your introduction and read through that and highlight any rhetorical questions you might have asked in there. You're going to directly link your conclusion to your introduction. Let's have a look at a waggle. So this is the introduction, and we're going to have a look at how the conclusion links. So picture the scene. A young woman walks down the street and is at peace. No cat calls, no wolf whistles, no lewd comments. Unfortunately, sexism is still such a serious issue that this scene is only a fantasy for the majority of women. This needs to change. And here is our conclusion. Let's see if it links back. Can we change fantasy into reality? With the help of everybody around us, we can. Like a revolution, working together towards a common goal is always the beginning of change. Let us not stereotype genders. Let us treat everyone in an equal way. Let our minds broaden by educating ourselves. After all, we are in the 21st century where anything is possible. Okay, so what I want you to think about in your conclusion is, what did you ask your audience to think about at the beginning of your speech? Thinking about why they should help you and how you're going to ask them for help. So in here, you need to link back to your introduction. You need to summarize your main points that you've made throughout your speech. Use 2 or 3 De Forester techniques and call for action. And my top 3 De Forester techniques are using direct address, using emotive language, and using repetition. And your introduction needs to link to your conclusion. So, some sentence stems. As ever, these are a starting point and you can change them to fit with your ideas. So I'm not going to read them through, but what I want you to do is make sure that you've checked your introduction, looked at the main points that you've made in each of your paragraphs, because you're going to need those to summarize for this conclusion. So what we've got to do, make sure that you've summarized the main points, answered any rhetorical questions that you've asked in your introduction or elsewhere in your speech, and use the sentence stems. Your final task is to proofread the whole speech and send it by email to your teacher. And your speech is done. Well done.